If you have a once in a lifetime type of love, respect, appreciation, adoration, all of these different things, and you mean to tell me that I have to choose between my husband or my children, I'm sorry, y'all gonna hate me. You can be as mad as you want. You can unsubscribe. You can unfollow. I don't give a damn. I am choosing my husband every single time because I can have more children. And if I can't, at least I have my partner for the rest of my life or the rest of our lives. Not to say that that's going to make it easy. Not to say that grieving wouldn't be a thing. Not to say that I probably wouldn't regret it and rethink it and all of these different things. But ultimately, that's the choice that I'm rooted in. And most people aren't that way. A lot of people just get married to have kids because ultimately they're looking for unconditional love like that of a pet. What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of It's Giving. I am your host, Sarah Fontenot, and if you have not yet, please hit that button below, get subscribed, hit that little bell so you get a notification with each new piece of content. Because every week, we are bringing you the real, the raw, the ugly, and the beautiful. It's mostly what y'all can't see because they beautiful around me, y'all. Let me tell you, we got shot by Aneesa on the mic. What's up, baby?
What's up, Sarah?
How you feel?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
And if we could, we wouldn't.
Exactly.
What a waste of energy. We don't have the balloons for that. 10 energy balloons, okay? Kenny, we got, who is Kenny V? What's up, Creative Director of the Year?
What's up, givers? Another great giving day. Let's go.
Let's go. Great giving day. I'm here for that. And we got Motivational Chris on the switchboard. What's up?
What's going on? What's going on, fam?
How you feel? How you feel? So we're gonna jump right in. Yes, we are live. Also, we haven't done one video today.
Oh, we have not. We have been too consumed with the questions.
We have so many questions. There is a lot to get to, but yeah. Okay. Well, great. Hi, Aneesa.
Yes, darling.
What are we talking about today?
We have questions from the givers.
I love the givers. They're my favorite people. Well, sometimes. Also, sometimes they're terrible.
TikTok got some funny questions.
Okay, let's go.
Not funny, but real questions.
Let's see.
One I noticed says, should I take my girl's surname?
Ew.
No. Why? Was that a real question?
That was a real question.
But did they mean it when they said it, or were they just joking?
They're asking a real question on TikTok. They're interested. They're number 2 gifter on your page. They're
wow.
very interested.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you so much for that question. And also, no, unless, now this is the caveat, which is not our audience. However, if you are a little more on the feminine spectrum, that's okay. If the girl is more masculine and that's what y'all decide to do, I love that for you guys. I think it's great.
But as far as you and your house.
But me and my house, no. That's not what I would do. I'm going to drop one of these last names. I'm going to keep the other, though. I'm going to keep the other. Oh, we got Norway on the line. We got a little bit of everybody. What's up, Z? Okay. What else we got?
All right. Next question. How do I balance strength with warmth in relationships?
Oh, that is the balance between assertiveness and aggression. That is the balance between asserting a boundary and clapping back. That is a balance between having the right tone and understanding volume. I think that you ultimately, when you move in a way where your barometer and your boundary is inside of, I don't want to disrespect my person, because it's okay to be strong. Mm-hmm. It's strength in what?
Your weakness.
No.
Strength in the question. Oh, it says, how do I balance strength with warmth in a relationship?
Perfect. So when you love someone, you can be very stern and warm at the same time. I can love you and be strong with you, but I'm not being so strong as to which I would hurt you. Mm-hmm. So I think that there's not really necessarily a balance between the two. It's just have warmth and love and appreciation and respect at the heart of everything. And then when someone knows that, I'm not coming for you. I think I'm very stern, to be honest. I think I might be one of the sternest people I personally know. You don't think I'm stern? You're doing a face like I'm not stern.
You had me until you said one of the sternest people I've
You don't think I'm stern?
I didn't say that.
You don't think I'm one of the sternest people you know?
No.
Stern. Not another word. I'm saying stern.
No.
Wow.
I think you're very,
Particular.
I think you're persistent.
Yes.
I think you're assertive.
Yes.
And I think you are direct.
That's stern.
I don't, what? Go to Google. Go to the
Heads
Google.
to Google. Yes. Stern definition. Here we go. Of a person or their manner, serious and unrelenting, especially in the assertion of authority and exercise of discipline.
No.
You don't think when I say take your friend hat off and put your work hat
I don't
on.
think you're unrelenting.
Okay, I receive that. But I would say assertion of authority. No, not necessarily that, but exercise of discipline for sure. I'd be like, it's time to work. I don't even understand going to the bathroom. Because y'all know me. I won't eat. I won't.
I feel like I just got a shot. I felt
No,
like that
wasn't a
shot.
shot.
Listen,
That
Kenny,
wasn't
look
a
up
shot.
at me. You said it looked right at me. Y'all, I went to the bathroom for 10 minutes. I had to use the bathroom. My God.
I ain't gonna say what my
she
side
said what she said. It looked right at me, bro. And that's why they laughing, because they saw it too. Y'all three be coming for me.
They don't come for you.
Yes, you was coming for me earlier. What did you talk about?
Okay, I'm complete. All I'm saying is I am so unrelenting inside of the discipline of getting the work done that I forget. Like, y'all gotta be like, eat.
Oh yeah. Did you eat today?
I've snacked. What if I had time?
This is true.
Got some good questions.
Come on, let me go.
Okay.
How do I connect with a woman that is coming out of an abusive relationship?
Ooh. Be her friend first and allow her to heal, because she's got to trust you. And so if she jumps into something just to have someone, I personally think that a woman that's coming out of an abusive relationship oftentimes is looking for safety and security in a new person. And that's not to say that you're qualified to have that safety or security. It's almost like I'll take anything that I can get, because if you're being abused for a long period of time, you probably have a lower level and an eroded sense of self-esteem and an eroded sense of self-worth. And if that's the case, you wouldn't even like that version of her unless you just want to take advantage of her. You will like her for what you can get out of her right now. But when she does become a healed version, if she chooses to be a healed version, then you won't like that version of her. And she wouldn't like a person that chose her at her worst. So I think the best advice would be that girl's friend. Pick her up where she needs to be picked up. Help her to feel safe and secure as a friend, but don't take advantage of her weakness, in my opinion.
All right. I have a good question. This is a good question.
Okay.
Do women have to stop being bosses when they marry a boss?
Ooh. To an extent, yes.
Elaborate. Because why they got to stop being the boss babe? Why? Because a man came into my life? I can't be both?
No, you can't. Because now the focus isn't to be a boss. The focus is to curate a family and take care of the family. And this is if you want a high value, high earning, emphasis on high earning masculine man. Ultimately, you can be a boss in the world in the sense where you have a business and you're getting your groove on and you're inspiring and you're empowering, but none of that can come before the family. And especially none of that can come before your man. If you want a high value, high earning masculine man, he's kind of at the center of your world. So to an extent, yes, but that doesn't mean you have to stop doing what you're doing. You just can't sacrifice your partnership for what you're building in the world. If that's the case, you probably don't want a masculine man anyway.
So if a woman is in her boss babe era and she's building for herself, right? And she meets a man that wants to be protector and provider and provisioner over her life. And she wants to be the submissive feminine woman that allows her man to protect and provide and give provision. However, maybe she had a mom that said that, oh baby, women should always have a stash. You know, mothers teach their daughters to do that. Like, if you're in a marriage, like, always have a nest egg. Make sure you always have you. If when this man does this, and that's what people don't talk about, because it's like we get the fear of a relationship not lasting from our parents, from our mothers sometimes, because, you know, God forbid that I find a man that loves me, oh baby, but he may cheat on you. So you may need to don't quit your job for no man, because how you know that man gonna be there forever? So it's like, what mindset do you have to shift to not deal with that naysay? Because that's a lot.
I think first and foremost, women that are feminine don't get enough credit, because we are seeking the need in the household and fulfilling it before it's expressed. We are ultra helpful. We are ultra nurturing. We are making sure that our man okay, that the family's okay. And then it's like we are the last thing that we think about oftentimes. And when you put yourself first, which I think is okay, meaning make sure there's an implementation of time where you actually get to take care of you. And whether that be work, whether it be bubble baths, whether it be manicures, whether it be Pilates, I don't know what the thing is, but you need to have something for yourself. And I do believe that a woman should have a stash, and not because that man may cheat on you and you need to leave. I think you need to have a stash because success is not always upward. The trajectory is upward, but there's ups and there's downs. And I think that a wise woman is raising, saving, and investing money so that if those times go a little more low than expected, she's prepared to fill that need or that lack, right? So, you know, I've never, my mother has never said to me, you need to keep a stash because you don't know if that man would cheat. And also, it's hard for me to imagine women like our mother's generation saying that, because a lot of those women were cheated on and they knew it. A lot of women just stayed married, especially in that day and age, because that was the right thing to do, not because they were necessarily the happiest. It's just divorce wasn't on the table. You gonna go cheat? I might go cheat. That's why the milkman babies. Oh, that's the milkman's baby. That's why that's a real thing, right?
So do you believe that the reason why the divorce rate is higher now than it was back when our parents were alive and their parents were alive is because we absolutely refuse to put up with the infidelity, the lies, and the cheating for the sake of being provided for? Like, is provision more important than faithfulness?
No, I think the reason why we are going into divorce is because we as women have been sold a dream and we're realizing most times it's a nightmare. The nightmare of being a wife to a man that has no leadership, that doesn't desire to provide, that wants to go 50-50. So now you're in a passionless relationship with a roommate that you sometimes get to have sex with. That's not ideal.
Sometimes it's ridiculous.
I'm just saying that's not ideal. You don't really desire that person. You've settled for that person. That you tolerate this person. You don't appreciate this person. And when you realize that that's the truth, and now we live into this space where people are so like, I need to feel seen, heard, and acknowledged, that you almost wear that as a badge of, but do you allow for growth and grace? People are so like, oh, well, your standard is so high initially with a person that doesn't even know you. How do you teach someone how to treat you if you don't allow them the space and time for you to actually teach them? So now everybody is quitting early and quitting unnecessarily because they don't have any. It's like, I was told to get married and I did this, and this isn't what I was expecting. Okay, well, how do you make it into what you were expecting? How do you do that work? How do you get into that bag? But mostly right now, everyone is just pushing the label instead of its contents. Well, if I have a jar with a label on it, but it's empty, it's still empty. But if you have a jar with the contents in it, then it's a bottle of whatever you actually have. And most people aren't bottling or embodying husband and wife. They're embodying the label of marriage without its contents. So I say that to say most people get divorced, and this is why 70% of marriages are initiated by women, because they tell us this is the dream, but it's actually a nightmare because they don't tell us what it means.
You mean they initiate divorce?
Yeah. What did I say?
And they initiate marriage.
Oh yeah, they initiate divorce because we're not clear on what it even means to be an actual wife.
Mm.
And most men are not prepared for what it means to be a husband. It is a responsibility. People are going into this lifelong, most important decision that you'll ever make in your life like, you don't even know if this person has staying power. You don't even know if this man wants to provide for you. You don't even know, you haven't even stopped to ask, like, what are you still healing from? What desires do you have? How many times do you need to have sex in a week? What do you need from me weekly or monthly to feel seen, heard, acknowledged, appreciated, and respected? Like, the things are not happening. It's like, I like you enough. You were persistent enough. Okay, we can go together. Boom, we have kids. Boom, we get married. Now we're stuck. That's not the dream. That's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like you. I tolerate you because we split the bills. It's never ideal, in my opinion.
That's real. That's real. I feel like a lot of times provision is so sought after because women, they either got spoiled by their daddies a little too much and they automatically just want a man to do what their daddy has always done, or because they've never been provided for.
But in our community, most women don't even have their daddies. And most men don't either.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. So it's like either like women who demand like the man with the money and they have their handout is because one, they've never experienced provision in the household. Or two, they're what's the word? They're envious and they want what somebody else had and don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, they're not qualified.
They're not qualified for it, or
at all.
They have been overly spoiled by their parents and didn't get the lesson out of it, and just goes into the life thinking that they should just get what they want just because they got everything they want their whole lives.
Well, if God gives me a daughter one day, me and my husband will spoil the hell out of her, because now that becomes a standard. And I pray to God that if or when I have children and any other children that I am in their life, that they have learned to be happy inside of self first, so that anybody that you're seeking is an addition in value. It's not a necessity. I choose you because I want you. Not because I need to have you, not because I'm operating from survival, but because I'm operating from true desire, from true alignment, from true alignment inside of core values. You know? Yeah. In my opinion.
That's real.
I feel complete. You feel complete?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the givers asks, how do you deal with the insecure woman who loves attention from social media? You don't.
You don't. You don't.
You don't. I don't. What?
How do you deal with an insecure woman? Anybody that wants attention instead of respect is a red flag. Anybody that's half naked on the internet is a red flag. Anybody that is willing to flirt, touch, or sleep with just about anyone that will do nice things for them is a red flag. It's giving lack in self-esteem. It's giving lack in self-worth. It's giving lack in self-respect. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you unworthy of love. It just means you aren't prepared for what a real relationship is. You want the easy, dating experience. Oh, look how pretty this is. Well, what about when it's ugly? Because relationships take work and intentional work and consistency. And sometimes you don't want to have the hard conversation, but that's what's necessary. And I personally think a relationship is only as strong as its hardest conversation. How do you go to the depths if you've never been there? How do you have a foundation if you haven't built it? Yeah. If you're building a skyscraper on top of the sand, it will most certainly crumble. Yeah, so you've got to dig deep into that person to see, do they have the staying power, the foundation, and the strength to hold up whatever it is that you're willing to build, which goes back to the vetting process. So if this person, man or woman, is just seeking attention, it's a red flag. In my opinion. It's a no for me. That's a no for me, dog. Randy from American Idol.
Do you have any questions from the live? I know we got questions from the live.
I have a question regarding the statement you said of 70% of women.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's correlated to the fact that women are the ones that usually want to be married, want to get married? Yeah. And then they're usually the ones that want to get divorced. Do you think that's correlated?
Absolutely, because I think...
Repeat that for them.
Do I think that that the correlation to the amount of women that wants to be married is directly correlated to the amount of women that initiate divorce? That's the question, 70%? Yes, because most women are sold a dream. Most women think that they are supposed to be married. but they don't actually want to be a wife. They want to be able to say, I have a husband. They want to be able to wear the ring and show that in public. They want to say, look how valuable I am because someone chose me. Okay, great, but you're miserable. That's why 2 out of 3 marriages fail, because it's more based on the label of what it is, aka marriage, instead of the contents of what it is, aka husband or wife, aka staying power, respect, appreciation, ride or die, yin and yang, equally yoked, alignment, core values, and ultimately God. I think that most women, as long as we're told we need to have kids, even there are people that, I mean, hell, we did that episode with y'all where we were talking about what comes first, your kids or your spouse. The answer biblically is your spouse. If you have a once in a lifetime type of love, respect, appreciation, adoration, all of these different things, and you mean to tell me that I have to choose between my husband or my children, I'm sorry, y'all gonna hate me. You can be as mad as you want. You can unsubscribe. You can unfollow. I don't give a damn. I am choosing my husband every single time because I can have more children. And if I can't, at least I have my partner for the rest of my life or the rest of our lives. Not to say that that's going to make it easy. Not to say that grieving wouldn't be a thing. Not to say that I probably wouldn't regret it and rethink it and all of these different things. But ultimately, that's the choice that I'm rooted in. And most people aren't that way. A lot of people just get married to have kids because ultimately they're looking for unconditional love like that of a pet.
That's whereas
period.
That's a
period poo.
Period poo. Truly.
You are seeking unconditional
Where's
love.
Willie's bell? We need to
you should be seeking unconditional love, and you should be creating unconditional love, although I don't think love is truly unconditional because we're human, and I think that's a little impossible, but that should be what we're striving for. But what do? Well, this man can't give it to me, but he could give me children. Let me do that. Because your kids will always love you, no matter how bad you treat them. They don't know any better.
Do you think that's why people make the decision of the child over the...
Probably, because they don't really, there's no way you are ride or die with your partner and you're choosing your children over your husband. I can't understand that. And I don't care what anybody says. Y'all do you, that's my answer. I'm not saying my answer is law. I'm just saying if or when, let's say when I get married and I have my husband, not a husband that I married, I have my husband, that he is my answered prayer from God. This is my ride or die. I'm willing to go through hell or high water with this man. That's not once in a lifetime. Do you know how patient I had to be to wait for my person even now? I have dated the cream of the crop. Do you hear me? The cream of the crop. And yet, no, thank you and thank you. I know some of the most incredible men on this planet, and yet, thank you, no thank you. So for my person, I'm sorry, baby. Please come back in another form. I hope you hit this next baby that comes, because my husband comes after God, and that's just the way that I feel. I'm complete as well.
That's
my man. Now,
my
man is endearing, but my husband, that's different.
What do you mean? What's the difference?
My man, I love him. You know, my man, we're building, we're growing, we're learning. But when I make a commitment under God, there's no getting out.
Yeah.
Death is the, where am I? Right here? No, I want this one. Husband. My husband. Death is the only way out. Take that how you'd like it. So don't ask me to marry you if you don't see forever. I would hope.
Okay.
And maybe it's just the death of that relationship. Also, I don't know. I've never been married. Only ever been engaged a couple times.
2.5 to be specific.
So would you not consider that?
Marriage?
Yeah.
Being engaged? No, I didn't make a commitment under God. I said yes to a commitment, and it didn't pan out.
Hello.
I walked away.
So
he stuck with me exactly.
So next question. Does a man's income determine how much respect he gets in a relationship?
Depends on the woman.
Mm.
I think for a woman that is more shallow, absolutely. Actually, I feel like for society, absolutely. There are things that when you have money, you can buy bad character. People will allow you to get away with being a terrible human. Oh, because they have this car. Oh, because they tip well. Oh, because, they're buying everybody shots, but they're a horrible human. And that's good for those people. But for me, there's not a level. I will respect people because people deserve respect, period.
Right.
But respecting as my partner, you've got to be at my level or higher.
Right.
For my partner. And not that I would give you respect, but that I would trust your lead. That's probably a better way to answer it.
Right.
Because if I'm ahead of you, I don't want to slow down for you to pass me up.
Right. Okay.
If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question. Man, that's a good response.
Okay. I receive that. Somebody said I don't have children. That's an easy way when you aren't living it. It's true. I can only speak from logic. That's all I could do. That's a fact. I've never birthed a child. So I don't know. But logically, when I think of my person, that he's after God. Someone else asked a good question.
Oh, I was going to give you next one. Go ahead.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Oh. Would you date a man who doesn't post you on social media?
Hell yeah. I'm popping out married. Swear to God. Y'all ain't going, I've made the mistake twice and I won't do it again. Maybe engagement. Maybe.
Nah.
Maybe.
Nah.
Maybe.
Pop out married.
Maybe.
Nah.
I can't say I wouldn't do engagement. What I can say is I'm not posting while I'm in a relationship.
Like post the ring. Like post
my hand like this.
I said yes. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then like pop out married.
I personally feel like social media ruins everything. Because now you've allowed other people into your space, and a lot of people don't have anything for you but a negative vibe.
Yeah.
They're preying on your downfall.
Right.
And for someone, I think that a lot of people assume that I've only ever been up. And so I do have a lot of quiet haters, and that's okay. I don't have any problem with that. However, they don't know how hard I've worked to be here. And so it's easy to count money you've never made.
You was giving very much Pamela when you said that.
Which part?
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
It's like, okay.
I saw your mom in that moment.
It's giving, okay, that's fine. I love that for you. Couldn't be me. I don't have a hating bone in my body. I have another question. I really want to ask this question. Why is it so hard for men to lead? As simple as leading in conversations when starting to date. How do you get a consistent, persistent quality man these days that believes in leading? Oh.
What is going on?
Sorry, I was looking at a comment. Okay. Why is it so hard to get a man to lead? You know what I think? I think women are too busy being interesting instead of interested.
What do you mean? I know that we talk about that briefly in our book, but what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I think that if I'm honest, what I have observed from a lot of women, and I used to do this, to be perfectly clear. I used to be the girl when a man would start talking about money. I'm like, yeah, I got this investment and this and this and this and this and this. Or it's like, oh yeah, and look how great I am, which is actually a very masculine trait. Ladies, be interested in what that man has to say. Train yourself. At this point, I will get really quiet and ask 10,000 questions. I have so many fun little questions. I haven't asked the question of, would you love me if I was an eagle yet? But, would you love me if I was a woodpecker? Like, would you create a bird cage in the backyard and catch me, or would you set me free and allow me to fly? I haven't asked those types of questions. However,
would you
ask that type of question?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't thus far.
Okay. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
But I think I just think about how interested I am to hear his perspective. How interested I am to feel like, oh yeah, we're tracking here.
Okay.
And I personally feel like most women are more focused on telling you how great they are instead of being interested in how great you are. And in that case, men subconsciously or consciously are like, she has all the answers. What does she need me for? So now there's no space to lead. Why do I need to be a leader when she's got it? She got it. She good. And we never want to be the woman where a man thinks that she's got it. Yeah. If you desire to have a masculine partner.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. Do we feel complete?
Yes, I feel complete.
Chris, you got any follow-ups to that one?
I do think that there's a good movie where this guy is like showing the girl how to not be like a girl essentially, like, and like be more like a man would like her. And that's all the stuff he was saying was like, you can't sit here and be like, my life is so perfect, I got everything going, and like take away all the interest in the conversation, because what a man finds interesting is putting a woman on, like showing her a restaurant she's never eaten at, a place she's never visited. So if you hear and you talk about, I've done it all, what is the value I'm bringing to you now as a man? So I think that concept it goes way deeper than just general conversation at the restaurant. But if you're trying to build a deep relationship, there's levels to that.
Ooh, I agree. Be interested, not interesting.
So if I'm dating a guy, right? And let's say I'm a foodie, so you can never go wrong taking me out to eat.
Okay.
Period. So, okay. So let's say we go out on 20 dates in the span of, I don't know, 6 months.
That's like,
let's like little lunch dates or whatever.
That's not a lot in 6 months.
I'm not saying,
like you.
No, what I'm saying.
Sorry. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is we're going on 20 lunch dates. We could have more. I'm just saying, like, but every restaurant he takes me to, let's say 15 of those restaurants. No, let's say 17 of those restaurants. I'm like, oh, I've been here before. Like, I love this place.
That's why he doesn't like you.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yep.
I'm not saying I would do that.
Oh, I know.
But you know, I was just trying to figure out, is that what that means?
Look, I don't know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I heard nothing.
But I think the concept of a virgin and like men wanting to show a woman how to become a woman is not about just
men
sex.
Cannot show a woman how to be a woman.
No, but I'm saying it's not just about sex, like virginity. It's about the world and like me exposing different sides of the world to a woman that she might have never seen before. So I think that's where the interesting part comes in. Is like, if you're already so interested, you did all these things on your own. Like the man already took you in a Lambo, so now I bring you to Lambo. You don't feel like my Lambo special because you've been in a Lambo before.
Or she got her own Lambo.
You know what it is? I let it all unfold. Like for me, I'm never going to lead a conversation. Like if he were to say, where's your favorite place to travel? I'm not going to say, oh, I've been to this place and 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 this place. That's what most women would do. I went to Thailand once and then tell the whole story about Thailand. And then I was in Santorini, Greece. And then this happened. Oh my God, I stopped in.
All he's thinking is who took her there?
Right. Legit, right? So for me, if a man were to ask that question, it would be like, my favorite place. I brought my sister with me to Santorini, Greece. We had the time of my life. We saw the Colosseum. I ate a lot of gelato. Had some good sleep-ins. It was amazing. I'm not sharing all the places that I've been. Or even like, certain things you're going to know about me if you've done your research on me. Because I've said outwardly all the time, I don't pay a bill when I'm in a relationship. That is something that is important to me. I want my man to desire to provide for me. And inside of that, but you're never going to catch me leading with, oh, I won't be your girl unless you pay my rent. You don't even know me yet. You don't, there's no way you could possibly value me. So if you try to pay my rent off the jump, this is a prostitution experience. And I'm not open to that.
Let me ask you this. This is a follow-up question.
Okay.
Do you believe that a woman still has a right? Like, let's say a divorced woman. Let's say a woman that was married and she lost her husband, like to death, or the marriage ended for whatever reason.
Okay.
She did it the right way, but it just didn't, it failed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does she still, I don't want to, worthy is such a wrong word, because I believe that's not the word I'm looking for. Do you believe that she is still qualified to be open to be sought after a man that wants to provide for her, even though she has children from a previous marriage, you know, and she was divorced or whatever the case may be. Like this, because you know how society is with single parents out here. They're the worst.
Yeah. Ultimately, absolutely. And this is going to be terrible to say, but most times women that have been married before, that have had children in that marriage and now are divorced or widowed, end up with the nice guy, not the good man.
Why you say that?
Because the nice guy is easy to take advantage of, because he'll drink your bathwater, because you can walk all over him, because he'll put up with another man's kids and love you like there is no tomorrow.
Why is it put up with another man's kids? Because this is my disposition on it. I don't feel like when you say put up with another man's kid, it's making it out to be as if the kids are a burden. Like
they are.
Yeah,
kids are burdensome to their own parents, let alone somebody
what
else.
I'm saying,
I'm a burden. Well, I was a burden.
What I'm saying is, it seems as though I agree with you in the sense of a woman has a certain mindset where she can't attract a masculine man. I feel like a woman who's coming out of a marriage but gets the nice guys because she's not in her feminine, not because.
No, I think the only way that, and this is gonna sound terrible, dang, it's gonna be real bad, but I'm just gonna tell the truth. The only way that a woman who has been married with multiple children could get a man that has every option, and I mean every option, not you know, the normal man, but the man that has all of the options and he chooses her, is if she is astronomically beautiful. Number one, she has to be next level beautiful. And number two, the kids can't be super young. But if you are astronomically beautiful and your kids are not super young and you are that girl, you bring the value. You lost your husband, okay, that's fine, but you are a good, solid Proverbs 31 woman, you will absolutely get you a high value man. Ain't no doubt about it. High value, high earning masculine. There's zero doubt about it. However, if you are a woman that never bounced back or took the time to bounce back after pregnancy, if you don't take care of yourself physically, the odds of you after a marriage and multiple children getting a man that has every option are much lower. That's just the truth. Masculine men are visual. And I know that is hard to accept, but it's just the truth. It's when we're talking about men that have every option. I'm not talking about everyday men, because everyday men are the men that would absolutely love and adore to marry that woman. Love to drink her bathwater. Yeah. The nice guy. Drink her bathwater.
What tips do you have on what to ask on the first date? What questions do you ask to get to know someone fast?
Why are you trying to get to know someone so fast? That's my question.
Sometimes fast just happens. But I would say that when I think about questions to ask on a first date, I don't know. I'm such a flow person, but I mean, maybe questions like, how long have you been single? Are you looking for a relationship? Or are you in a have fun phase in your life? Like, right. What's your desire? Right. You know, I don't know. I feel the person out and kind of go from there. And I kind of want to see, like, what's our vibe? What's our energy? What are we aligned with? What do you do? How do you treat people? I'm really in observation mode our first date. How do you treat our server? How do you, ask for the check? How are you attentive to me? Are you looking around the restaurant? Are you picking up your phone every 30 seconds? I'm watching for the cues that say you're present and you're here. How do you treat people? How do you treat me? How do I feel? And then the questions happen. But I'm not saying, like, do you want marriage in the next 2 years? No. I'm trying to figure out, are you a husband? And if you're a husband, we can keep talking. But for a man, I have to tell you, if a man says something to you, he says, I'm not looking for anything serious right now. I'm just looking to play the field. He doesn't like you, or he doesn't value you enough to be exclusive. So allow that man to go live his life in his shenanigans. Don't get caught up in the delusion. especially when it comes to these high earning, high value masculine men, because they will have you thinking you're in a whole relationship and you're not. Okay, ladies, don't be delusional. A wealthy man will do what he's used to doing. Oftentimes, with most of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, you're not special.
But what would be a questions that you would ask so you would know if you want to go on a second date?
What are you like? When was your last relationship? Oh, another question I ask is, what would your ex say about you? You know, what would you say about your ex? How do you talk about that person? And then I would like to know, like, are you looking for something serious? Because I also share, I'm abstinent and I'm calling in my
You
king.
share that like on the first date?
Probably. I don't want to waste your time.
Mm.
I'm abstinent. And if you're not okay with that level of truth, you don't want me anyway. I'm so direct and straightforward and honest and real and raw and unfiltered that it's like, look, if you don't want this, baby, you did us both a favor.
Right.
I can respect that.
Right.
I got another question.
Okay.
Are you willing to put your aspirations aside to lock in with goals set by your husband and get the relationship ahead?
Absolutely. If he's my husband, which is ultimately why a man that is at my level or higher, preferably higher, is important to me, because I will absolutely be sacrificing what it is that I'm up to.
Can you define the distinction between how you act as a girlfriend and how you would act as a wife?
Honestly, I feel like it's very similar. Once in therapy, my therapist told me, Sarah, you're acting like a wife and you're a girlfriend. And I said, I don't understand the difference. Can you please break it down? And I said, am I supposed to stop connecting? Am I supposed to stop, pardon me, am I supposed to stop allowing, people to be themselves? Am I supposed to stop showing up? Am I like, I don't understand. I am a wife. And he's like, I know you're a wife, but the difference between girlfriend and wife is yours versus ours.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are not in a commitment, aka marriage, there is no our house. There's no our dog. There's no our car, because if you want those things out of me for us to become one, that's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
There's your house and there's my house. There's your dog and there's my dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're separate dogs though. Does that make sense?
Right.
There's your car and there's my car. But what do we do as women? We start saying, "Oh, he's going to take our car to get fixed or serviced, or he's coming over. We live together now." No. You don't get those things out of me. But do you get my essence? Yes. Do you get my love and my nurturing and my connecting and all of my superpowers? Yes, absolutely. It's just we really are becoming one. I don't think that there's that thing where they say, don't give him wife benefits. I'm going to be who I am.
And if you're a wife, that's just what he's going to get.
Yeah, I'm going to be all of who I am, which is why I think I'll be wifed up pretty quickly.
Yeah, you will.
That's what I think. I'm just throwing it out there. Only God knows. Time reveals all, but I'm just saying.
Right here.
Okay, come on.
Why should a man you're not married to be required to pay your bills to show his commitment to providing for you? And if you are a Proverbs 3:1-10 woman, you won't require a man to pay your bills.
I don't require a man to do anything for me. I would hope that my essence and my energy inspires him to want to. I would never say, in order for me to be your girlfriend, this is what it takes. What I do know is my track record with men and the men that I have dated, I have never said, hey, I'm a little short on my rent. Can you help me? I get a wire monthly. That's not, it's a different, but I also date very abundant men, abundant in mindset, abundant in spirit, abundant in finance, abundant in energy. I don't date men that have to count their pennies in order to be able to provide for me. I don't have to count my pennies in order to be able to provide for me. I also take care of my parents and do a lot of stuff for my family. So if you're not at my level or higher, I understand that. I get what that man is saying, but I don't require it. It should be a desire. And if you don't desire it, you don't want to me. Because I want a man that is inspired to say, first of all, it's not like it's much for them, but also I want him to feel like take pride in being like, my baby, I want to take this off of her plate.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take, even if this isn't a big stress, I just want her to be stress-free. Or I want her to know that I've got her back. And in the same way, because oftentimes what men will say is, well, let's say your rent is $5,000 a month and you're paying $5,000 a month and you date for a year and then you break up. Well, that's $60,000 gone. Okay, well, what are the intangible things that she's brought to you in that year that are intangible but super qualitative? If your character is better, if your level of discipline is higher, if your level of self-awareness has expanded, if all of these things are happening, if you've created better and stronger relationships with people you never even would have known before, if you're being put into new rooms, what's that worth? Because by the way, we can't quantify that. So there are so many things for me personally where I would hope that in my way of bringing all the things that I bring while I'm just a girlfriend is the same way that a man would want to bring all the things that he wants to bring while he's just a boyfriend. In my desire. Are they eating me alive?
I got a good one here. Guy will show he's a priest, a provider, and a protector on the first date. But a woman can't show they're a multiplier on the first date.
You said a priest, a protector, and a provider.
How you a priest if you a multiplier in the same date?
I think he's basically saying the man got a lot to prove on that first date.
And she won't have sex. How you gonna be a priest? You having sex on the first date.
But my whole thing is, why is dating become so transactional these days?
You little dirty animal. I hear you, and I agree with that, Aneesa. I feel like also this is a thing too. What we have to understand is that women are naturally seeking safety and security. Men are naturally seeking an aesthetic because that is showing that their heirs will be healthy. It is subconscious. This is just how we are inside of human nature. Okay. So I personally feel as though if she is showing you the intangible things and you pay for a dinner, that's beautiful. I feel like that's kind of the way of the world. Somebody said she didn't hear. What was the question? Oh, somebody said, why are you letting men that haven't asked you to marry him pay your bills? Why are you asking women you haven't asked to marry to have sex? Ooh. Why are you asking women that you haven't married to clean the house? Why are you asking women that you haven't married to cook dinner for you? Why are you asking women that you haven't married to introduce you or expand your empire? Why are you asking women to be peace for you so that you can have a better mind to build your empire? Why are you asking women to love on the children that you already have? Ooh. Why are you asking women that you haven't married for their hand in marriage? It goes the same way. Men and women are wired differently. And if a man loves you, he wants to solve a problem. He wants to provide for you. Why wouldn't I allow my man to provide for me? Now, what I can say is there are a lot of men that have tried to provide for me, and I say no all the time. Ask my girls. People, every time I go get my nails done, someone's like, what's your Cash App? Can I this? On Instagram, I have offers all the time for trips and bags and shoes and all of the things, cash money. You know what my answer is? No. Because that is reserved for my man, my man, my man. And hopefully, the next time y'all know I have a my man, my man, my man, that's my husband. I said it and I meant it. Anyone else have those types of questions?
That's a mouthful.
Why are you letting men who haven't married you yet
I just answered that. That's what I just answered.
But the way you answered it was you answered something of it, but I feel like you said right. Your response from a woman's perspective is good, but what about the fact that he's not living with you yet? Because I see a lot of people in the comments saying, I'll pay her bills if I'm living with her.
Yeah.
I'll pay her bills if I'm married to her. But you talking about homie is in California, you in Atlanta, he's sending you a check like.
Yeah. Look. So this is the thing. If you make, let's go low. Let's say you make $1 million a year. Okay.
That's low.
Let's say you make $1 million a month or a year. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's say that you make $1 million a month. That's $83,333 a month. Which means
$1 million a year is $83,000 a month.
Yes.
Yep.
Did I say it wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all know what I'm saying. So if that were the case, which by the way, that's usually not even my case.
They're making more than that.
Yes. So y'all are over here talking about $4,000 and $5,000 because you make $4,000 and $5,000 a month. It is not the same. And I'm sorry.
She's talking to y'all in the chat. Tell them in the chat.
She basically calling y'all broke.
No, I would
y'all
never.
broke.
Don't say
she
that.
She said y'all
I'm
broke.
not saying that. I'm not calling anyone broke. I'm saying my experience and what I am used to. I am used to certain things.
But it sounds like you're saying it's relative. It's relative to the amount of income that the man is making.
Absolutely. It's relative to the amount of income that a man is making.
So now put that into perspective.
Yes.
For a regular man who, I don't know what the regular
average income is like 60,000 or something.
So let's just say that 60,000.
But for a black family, I think it's 40,000.
Okay, but let's say 10% of that is 6,000.
Yeah.
So that's all he got for the whole year to get.
Which is different. And this is the thing. This is where the disgruntled broke man, remember, broke is not a dollar amount. Broke is when you're unhappy in your own bank account. This is where that comes in. Now it turns into, because you can't afford to do things and be abundant and bless whatever it may be. Now I'm supposed to be the monster. I'm the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy. I put myself in a position, as femininity does, to be kept in a certain type of way. And by the way, if I don't choose a man, I'm paying my own bills, which I don't struggle to pay, nor do I need a roommate or have to split 50-50 with. And on top of that, I take care of my parents. So sometimes the mindset is just not the same, and that's okay. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong and you're entitled and that you are. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to say, whatever works for you, you do that. I know what works for me. And the same way that a man desires to provide for his woman is the same way that a woman desires to intangibly provide for her man. The things that you're getting out of a woman, if it's only physical, you're bankrupt. You're not really getting anything. It is when the intangible things come into play. That's when you're really blessed by that woman. And up until you're actually at that point, you'll realize, then I get it. Now I understand why someone would say, well, why would I pay her rent if we don't live together? If all you're getting is sex, I wouldn't want to do it either. If all you're getting is hey, bro, she fine, I wouldn't want to do it either. If someone has no value to bring, you don't want to add value to it. I understand. However, I can't relate. That's where I'm at. And they could eat me alive. They can say whatever they want to say. Again, it goes back to being unapologetic. I don't care.
So someone said, I know it does, but finances can always be taken away. Most are one traumatic event from breaking up or divorce because their relationship is based on something that can change or be taken away. What do you think about that? Do you think that if it's all based on he can pay my bills, we're not saying that's all it is, but if that's a major component, what if he can't pay the bills?
So I've had men come stay with me when he couldn't pay the bills. I've had that happen. If you are my man, I've got your back. And luckily for you, you have a hustler and a person that actually understands how money works. So please believe, if you're paying my bills, I'm not out shopping every month. I spend more money on my family than I do myself. I don't even really go shopping. I already have everything, to be honest. So that being said, if you fall, baby, I got us. Because I haven't been spending this money over here, it's invested over there. It's extra money in our life insurance. I can borrow away from my life insurance at 2%, but no interest is charged for a year. We got a year to get back on our feet. Mm-hmm. So the conversation is different when you actually also bring finances to the table. Mm. But if you are living paycheck to paycheck, I understand. I get it. I just can't relate. That's where I'm at. And even when I had the hardest time of my life, I remained single. Mm.
That's real.
Because if you're really going through it and you haven't gotten to a place and you are in a traumatic experience in your life, you're not looking for a relationship. You're subconsciously seeking a trauma bond.
Where's the bill? I'm
just saying. I'm just saying you're looking for a trauma bond. And I just so honestly feel like people will project how they feel onto another person's relationship or how or who they show up as. I'm not that girl. Y'all, look, y'all. Today is a new day. Where am I? Here?
Where do you want to be?
Here.
Right there.
Today is a new day. If y'all don't know, you're going to find out today. I don't care about the opinions of other people that don't know me and don't understand how I operate. I operate from integrity, from real love, from rawness, authenticity, and transparency. And if that's not for you, I understand and I love you and I appreciate you and I can send prayers to you and I'm still going to operate how I operate. People want to, and they weaponize it. Oh, so Sarah only dates rich men.
You're getting a lot of hate in the comments.
I don't care.
But John standing with you, he said, I don't know why folks think Sarah will change on her opinions, especially when it comes to the money. Period. Shout out to John.
I appreciate that. I don't, but this is the thing. Depending on who's in the comments, if please believe, guys, y'all gotta understand this, okay? Earlier, one of my mentors in life, Shaquille O'Neal, jumped on our live, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Do you think people like Shaq, when he's dating women, not me, but when he's dating women, do you think he's gonna be like, oh, babe, I can't help you pay for anything until you're my wife?
Not Shaquille O'Neal, not Big Shaq.
These are the circles that I'm in. Our reference points are different, okay? Our reference points are different. So if you don't get it, it's okay. I'm not going to wrong you, but don't try to judge me. Don't do it.
Just Jews said, wait, why are you still single with all these credentials?
I'm just not married. And that's all I'm going to say.
I just look. I ain't said nothing.
I'm single as in I'm not married. I've been saying that for a long time now.
You have.
I have.
Yo, they said if you still think Sarah will date one of us regular guys,
yeah,
you are new here.
Oh, I hate that he said that.
No, when my friend said, like, when he asked about you, and I immediately laughed.
Don't laugh.
I
That's
did.
rude.
You laughed at him because he's regular?
Don't say it like that. You guys are horrible. I would never say, oh, this is the thing also, because I do feel like verbiage is important, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with a person that is settling for their income, but I haven't settled for my income.
Right. That's
why would I choose a man that has?
Right.
Now, that doesn't make a man a bad man. He could be an incredible leader, provider, and protector. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with any income tax bracket. You've just got to find what works for you and do that.
And just so happens, that what works for you
isn't that
doesn't work for the majority, and that's why I laughed.
Yeah. Last question here as we wrap up.
Okay.
Would you stay abstinent until engagement or marriage? What do you do if the man doesn't agree, but everything else is good?
If a man doesn't respect my abstinence journey, I can't be with that man. I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you I'm waiting until engagement or I'm waiting until marriage. But what I can tell you is I'm waiting until it makes sense in my body. And if a man can't respect that, that's not my man. Now, that being said, I also understand the high level of self-control and self-discipline because men are wired to be physical. And I understand that. But if you don't respect my deepest desires and something you can't get aligned with something that is a core value for me in this moment, then you don't value me anyway. Because there's so much more that I bring to the table than sex. That's the cherry on the top. It's not even the icing. The cake is fire. Okay? Cake is fire. Icing is delicious. That's just the cherry.
We ain't even talking about the whipped cream.
Wait. They're asking something that's very real here. They said,
okay.
We understand the circles that you're in, and we understand the standards that you have.
Yeah.
But for us regular folks...
They did not say regular. They did not say that.
Word for word. They said, if it's a regular person, how do we do it? How do we handle it? Like, how do we get our bills paid or opportunities? Like, how do you handle that at not at $1 million a year, but at maybe $10,000 a month? You know what I'm I'm saying? They're just trying to survive at 120,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's the regular Joe. And that's double. That's above average. That's above average. He's already an A+ in the market.
Yeah.
I know somebody who make 35 a month.
Oh.
3,500. So what do you say to those normies?
First of all, we're not going to call them normies, okay? We're going to call them highly valuable people that are just in a space in their life where they either are excited to grow more or are complacent with where they're at. And that's okay. And that being said, what I would say to the women is if you want a high value, high earning, masculine man, the first thing you have to do is learn to be feminine, learn to be soft, learn to be ladylike, get in the gym, drink lots of water, and take care of yourself. Those are some of the most important things that you can do when attracting in a high value, high earning masculine man. And for the men, I would actually ask you to ask yourself this question. If you know that a woman is naturally going to seek safety and security, why not do what you can to earn more? Why not focus on how can I make $10,000 more a year this year? And then can I turn that into $20,000 more next year? And then if that compounds, the following year it could be $50,000 more. So now you've taken yourself from $60,000 to $110,000 in a matter of 3 years. That's a huge accomplishment. And like I said before, one of the ways that you build confidence is in getting a result. If you get that result, if you can make 110, you can make 2. If you make 2, you could make 3. And to be completely honest, top 1% is only $437,000 a year. And if you want to have the best of the best woman choice, most times when she's inner feminine, when she's ladylike, when she's respectful, when she wants to be your piece, when she wants to curate and create a nurturing home, that woman wants a high earning as well as a high value man. And it's not to wrong her for it. That's how we're wired. It goes back to the hunter and gatherer stages. And when you can understand that, my question for you would be, why not do what it takes to work on you?
I have an answer for that because I'm going through this stage in my life. Okay. It is because when you are presented with the opportunity to be better for change, right? Mm-hmm. It's like being at a crossroads. Yeah. And a lot of people choose the crossroad that feels best. Whereas, besides choosing the crossroad that will have them walking on the water. Like when Peter walked on the water with Jesus, he didn't sink because
until he knew it was in the water.
But it was because he stopped being focused on the goal, which was keeping his eyes on Christ. You see what I'm saying? It's like when you're at a point of change, you have to make a choice. Either you're gonna stay in the boat in the realm of your safety and your comfort and feel good, or are you going to get out on the water and do the intentional work and be focused on the goal for change? And a lot of people they don't choose the latter. They choose what feels good because comfortability isn't like comfortability and change are not synonymous.
Yeah. And you know what? I also do feel like, because I just saw Trell in the chat said, back then they didn't want me, now hot, they all on me. You're right. And that comes with quality as well. Maybe the quality women didn't see you, and maybe you didn't show up the way that you show up in the world now. Because let me tell you, this is why I always say a man needs 3 things. He needs to know God, he needs to know himself, and he needs to know his purpose and be in action with all of it. And when you operate from that space, you show up in the world better. When I say when you know yourself, you need to feel good in your own bank account. You need to feel good inside of the relationship you have with God. You need to feel good inside of your purpose. And when you move that way, women are more attracted to you, not because of the dollar amount. There are some men that make $100,000 a year that could pull women that men that make $5 million a year couldn't pull because of their confidence and their energy and their essence. It's attractive. When you feel good inside of who you are, that's what's going to attract a woman. It's not about the dollar amount. Take me out of it because 10 years ago, I made my first million. 10 years. So it's a little bit different than a person that's never made any money before. So I hate talking about money because that's the one thing that I'm like, look, I'm broke, ugly, single, don't nobody want me. That's the way that works for me, where people don't make no assumptions about me. That makes me feel comfortable. However, when it comes down to the real, it's all a choice. You get to choose. You get to choose whether you pick up a side hustle. You get to choose whether, ultimately, you get to choose your own happiness. And when you're happy, we feel it. That's what we are looking for. Safety and security is not a dollar amount. It's a character trait. Now, money is attached. Don't get me wrong. I would tell every woman, don't choose no man that's complacent at $35,000 a year. Don't choose that. That's a challenging life.
Yeah.
Even if you have two of you, that's 70,000. That's tough.
That's true.
You know? And if you don't have to choose it, then don't.
Yeah.
And for me, I've positioned myself, I don't have to choose it.
And so you're not.
And I won't.
And anybody who got something to say about
That's okay. Y'all can hate on me like I would choose my husband over my kids every time. I don't care. I don't care.
That's it. I'm complete.
Are we complete? Somebody said, I like you and respect your opinion, Sarah, but most of this advice is carnal and not spiritual. I disagree, because even in the Bible it says we're supposed to be abundant. You can't help the broke if you're one of them. You just can't.
But also, my only devil's advocate point is that, do we consider Jesus to be a high value masculine man? Because look at who he.
Wait, can you say that again? Because I was reading comments.
I said I can agree and see what they mean, but it's just like, do we not consider Jesus, Yeshua, to be a high value masculine man? Do you not believe?
You want to know why Jesus was so rich?
Why?
Number one is relationship.
Right, with God.
He was connected to the ultimate source. He had the ultimate plug. Oh, you hungry? Let me feed you. And it just appeared.
Yeah. Like, do we consider Jesus to be a poor man, or was he a rich man?
He had the big, relationships get you further than money does a lot of the time.
Right, but it's just
further
like,
than money, accolades, certificates.
So
if you were looking at his tax returns, he would not get the qualification.
No, that is not. I'm sick of y'all. Okay.
It's time to wrap up the show.
It's time. We tired, y'all.
Period.
We is tired. Someone said, no, we love you, Sarah. You are a Black queen, but all Black kings are not financially stable because of how America has positioned us. That's also a truth. Systemic stuff is a thing. You know, we got work to do in the Black community and just in the community, period. So I feel complete.
I do too.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us in this episode. We talked about a lot. I know I'm about to be eaten alive. I might get canceled. Actually,
girl, every time you said you was about to get canceled, you did not get canceled.
Child. Well, you know, it just is what it is.
Do the thing.
I'm just open to it at this point. But guys, despite wherever society or people or societal expectations, your friends, your family, your parents, the jaded people in your life, no matter what they say, it is most important for you to feel good inside of who you are, and to always remember that you are freaking phenomenal, bomb.com, and nothing can stop you but you. The caveat is you have to do something about it. Today, thank you so much. Shot by Aneesa on the mic.
No problem, Bookie Boo.
Yeah, we got motivational Chris over here on the switchboard. What's up?
Let's go.
We got Who Is Kenny V, creative director. What's up?
Boom.
We love you guys. Have the most phenomenal day. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.